Real quick, guys, before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to talk really quickly about our accelerator program. So the accelerator program is a new program that we just launched. We're taking a maximum of 10 investors every quarter, and we're plugging them directly into our proven marketing methods to fast track their way to success as a real estate investor. Basically, if you're a part of this program, after 12 weeks, you will have the entire framework that you need to leave your W-2 job over the next 12 months. This is a very intensive program. It is only for people that want to take real estate investing very seriously. So if you think that you are a candidate for this, please go to collectingkeyspodcast.com/launch, submit your information, and we'll give you a call to see if we think it'd be a good fit.
Welcome to the Collecting Keys Friday Focus.
What is going on, guys? On this episode of the Collecting Keys Friday Focus, we have a very special case study with one of our Instant Investor members here, Dylan Koch. So if you are new to these, on the occasional Friday Focus, we do a deep dive into a deal from either someone in our community or just an investor who we thought had a great story. And they come on and they tell us a real estate deal. None of like the fluffed up podcast numbers you hear on bigger podcasts and other things, but this is what real estate actually looks like from a real operator. And we're going to dive in and look at what exactly went down here. So Dylan, man, I appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So how this works is we have 5 fixed questions that we go through, and it will give us the full story about this deal that you did. So question number 1, what kind of property was this deal?
Single family home.
Single family home. Simple. I like it. How did you find it?
It was a direct mail lead.
Direct mail lead. Okay. What list was it on?
It would have been high equity absentee. Okay. And basically the seller had not been in the house in years and had squatters inside of it that he didn't want to take care of.
Cool. I mean, that's trademark motivated seller right there. I love it. Cool. Do you remember how many times you'd reached out to this person before they contacted you?
I think it was our first direct mail piece, but it took several months of follow-up to actually get them to engage in a conversation that was worth moving forward on.
Exactly. All about consistency and follow-up. That's 90% of the business people tend to ignore. All right. So you already gave some details about the seller, but I guess absentee owner, is this someone that, I don't know, were they like an older person? Are they someone that inherited the property? Like, what was it?
Profile of the seller was, he owned it for a long time. He had one of those guys like Northern Kentucky, like good old boy, owned like 10 rentals, but you never know it if you talk to him.
Yeah.
And eventually he got to the point where he was kind of a slumlord, to be honest. Like he didn't want to have anything to do with the house. He didn't upkeep them. These people moved in and he really wanted to get rid of it. He's like, I don't care really how much I make on it. He didn't owe anything on the property. So anything was kind of a win for him at that point.
Okay. Perfect. Easy enough. All right. So what's the story with the deal?
So because of the squatters, we really couldn't get inside the house, right? But we kind of used that to our advantage when we were negotiating the house. I bet ARV on this place was probably 100, 115. It's a small town called Covington in Northern Kentucky. We got it contracted for $20,000, right? We bought it sight unseen, and we filed the eviction to get the squatters out. So we're there on the set out day, right? Because they didn't get out prior to the eviction. Sheriff shows up, they start moving this guy out of the house. And next thing we know is they're bringing out a large pig out of this house.
I was going to make a really rude comment about the guy's wife, but I don't want to go down that
yeah, no, just a legit like farm pig that walks out of this house. And the sheriff comes out and is basically like, have you been in here? And I'm like, no, why? He's like, we need to call like animal control. And so literally they called like this, I don't know who it was, but someone like animal control people come up. They get this pig. This pig is so fat, Mike. It's like over 400 pounds. When it's walking up this ramp, it bends the ramp that's walking up to get into this truck. So eventually get into the house, and this guy was living with like this pig to shit in the living room. Like there was almost 2 inches of shit. Or I should say poop, I'm sorry.
You can swear in here, it's fine.
Yeah, like in this living room. So this was near the beginning of our investing journey. So we're like, this was the first like eye opener. Like, I can't believe people actually live this way, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, to draw to conclusion to that, we eventually just sold it to another investor for like a $10,000 profit.
Nice.
So,
There you go.
We didn't have to deal with the cleanup or anything like that. We were just responsible for basically getting the squatter out of the property.
Yeah, I mean, you can make good money doing exactly that, though, right? So, man, so he was like literally like living in the house with the pig.
Right.
What was this tenant like?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there were drugs involved, man.
There
Like,
has to be.
yeah, like it very much like he obviously didn't work, didn't pay rent, just squatted in the house. And I don't even know how he got the pig. I don't know the backstory there. But it was a true introduction to off-market real estate.
Yeah, I mean, and the funny thing is you do this business even for not that long, you'll start to see stuff like that, right? Like, I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, if you own rental properties too, I'm sure you've had this experience where you go in and you walk into like a rental property and you're like, your tenant's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, this is my property and you live like this?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, the longer you're in this, I keep telling myself like I'm not going to be surprised by anything, but then something always comes up that's like, well, haven't seen that before.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. I've been through so many houses like that, and for some reason, this is the one that sticks out to me. It's not nearly as severe as that, and I've been in houses that are kind of similar to that. But I walked this house, and the seller told us that the tenants were out of town and were going to be out of town for 2 weeks, and they had left the day before. And he let us know, he's like, just so you know that we going to have a slightly longer closing so that they can get back and clean up their stuff because you're out of town for 2 weeks. We literally walked into the house, and their kitchen, they had like an entire day's worth of dishes that were just sitting uncleaned, just all over the counter. And the thing that stuck with me, I don't know why this stuck with me so much. There was 2 cookie sheets, one of them that had chicken nuggets, the other one that had broccoli that they had just set up on the counter and just evaporated. Like they had just left with like open food that hadn't even been eaten just for 2 weeks.
Disgusting.
But
and you wonder, like, when you see these people out in the street, like your grocery store, it makes you wonder about people just in general. Like, it makes you wonder about the general population at large when you see some of this stuff.
Dude, it's outrageous. So, awesome. So our last question is typically the end result, but it sounds like you sold this one for $10,000. Did you like put it on the market, or did you just like?
No, it was another investor that was interested, but I'd categorize him more seasoned. And he also didn't want to deal with like the squatter or the eviction, but he was more than happy to take on the rehab. Like he had his own rehab crew, etc. And I don't know what he ended up making, but I'm pretty sure it was a decent spread.
Yeah, I'm sure he did pretty well, especially with that much upside. I mean, even if the house is in like the worst possible condition, you can squeeze something.
Yeah, I know it's like 800 square foot house, right? So it's not like it's going to be a whole like even a major remodel is not as expensive as it could be. Yeah.
Do you think that if like, I guess you said that was one of your early deals, would you approach it differently now as a more seasoned investor?
Good question. Right now, I would have had the confidence to probably flip it ourselves. Right, I didn't have the team of people or subs that I could call on now that I did then, or I guess capital in the account. So a $10,000 check at that point in time was
huge.
Yeah, it was big, and it was more of a proof of concept too.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking if I was in a situation now, I probably would just buy it and then list it on the market for like 50 or 60 as like, for a MLS flipper to come and like way overpay for it because they're desperate.
Yeah. Could have done that too. Yeah. Definitely a good option.
Awesome. Cool. Well, Dylan, man, I appreciate you sharing your story today. Where can people reach out to you or follow you if you'd like them to do so?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram's probably the best place. Just type in my name, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on all social media, and you should be able to find me.
Cool. And that's Dylan, Koch. Got it right this time. But awesome, guys. We'll go and give Dylan a follow. He is doing some great stuff, and he is a core member of our Instant Investor Mastermind program. So you should hit him up, and he will tell you how great we are, and then maybe you can join in as well. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening. If you have a story of your own that you'd like to share, hit me up on Instagram at Mike_invest, and maybe we can have you come on and do a deal case study. And besides that, we appreciate you all. We'll talk to you all next week.
Thanks for listening to this Collecting Keys Friday Focus. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.